Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Extreme Performance Series. My name is Todd Muirhead, and today I'm going to be talking with one of our SAP performance experts, Sebastian.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sebastian Lenz. I'm sitting in Waldorf at this point, and I'm one, as Todd explained, one of our performance engineers here who are working very closely with SAP. And
you got some new results, some new benchmarking results to talk about today. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. We got some official benchmarks from SAP, which we can talk about in our efforts to have the certification, or now we have the certification for 8-socket large systems up to 12 terabyte in a HANA realm. So we're talking about really heavy-duty virtual machines.
So how many cores are on these 8-socket systems these days?
Cores are 224, and we have 448 threads, which we can then use and utilize here.
A lot of HANA installations, you're talking about hundreds of cores these days.
Absolutely. It's always on. When we're talking about terabytes of memory, which sometimes gets confusing when you configure it, because then you're just left out and say, hey, I've got 8 gigabytes. And you think, why is the system so slow? Because you just missed the terabyte.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, let's get into the results and what we're going to talk about today. I think you've got some slides you're going to share with us.
We have a new guide for this. So our new best practice guide is finally online, and I have to promote it here instantly because there are many informations in there about making the virtual 8-socket system running with a good performance, or even the best performance you can achieve. And also we are looking at the smaller machines, so it's for everybody. It's like the new thing everybody should know.
Yeah, so I mean, these guys have always been great. They've got all the details for how to get the absolute best performance out of HANA, which you and the other members of the team have developed through the experiences of running HANA over. How many years has it been now that we've been doing these HANA certifications? Like 10 years?
Yeah, I think 10 years. Yeah. We started with Westmere and vSphere 5.2.
I mean, so this document is the end result of like all those learnings over the years. It's really great. So it's a must-have if you're going to be doing SAP HANA.
Absolutely. It's like you can start and it works, but if you really want to have good performance, take a look at here. And then optimize your system to the point where you are happy with it. What do we have achieved here with these systems? I mean, we have the certification, which is one good point. But on the other hand, we have also to show that the performance is up to par to bare metal systems. And everybody who wants to check out, we have 2 really good BWH official benchmarks from SAP. One, as you can see here, with 7,600 queries, and then one with 4,676. And then to anybody who's want to know, hey, why is the numbers so different? The one is done with 7,600 with 6 terabyte of memory in an 8-socket system. And the other one is with 12 terabytes. So we're talking about an 8-socket, 12 terabyte HANA system, which achieves this nearly the same performance as a bare metal system. But really keep that in mind. We're talking about 10% deviation here from a bare metal system. It was the exact same system that was used here. Only difference at one level then the hypervisor was introduced, and we had a virtual machine running then on the same hardware.
Yeah, and these are large 8-socket systems.
Absolutely.
With large amounts of memory, like you said, 6 and 12 terabytes, respectively, for the results. Yeah. So this is really exciting stuff. We've had similar results with 4-socket systems in the past. We're very close to native performance, but this is with 8 sockets, so it's very, very exciting. So walk us through these results a little bit. What exactly are we seeing on this chart?
We are here comparing Cascade Lake CLX system against the Cooper Lake system. Both 8-socket, both 6 terabyte, both official benchmarks. Phase 1 is the load time of these 11.7 billion records. You can see a tremendous decrease in load time on the Cooper Lake system. The second phase is like, that is a CPU intensive phase where you have the queries, and you see over 2,000 more queries can be executed on a Cooper Lake system. And the response time overall is also better. And to compare now really the big systems, the 12 terabyte, I have here the graph. What we can show here is really left side, the bare metal system, right side, the virtual system on the same hardware.
Just looking at the bars, the virtual and native systems look, I mean, it looks almost exactly the same, just visually. It's very close.
It is. Because phase 1, I mean, that is a pressure on the storage system like you've never seen before. We're talking about 20.8 billion records, which is 7 terabyte of memory. So keep in mind, we have 12 terabyte available in the system, but mostly half or a bit more than half is effectively used for storing data. The rest is for working with the data. And when you look at the queries overall, we are also in the range of 10% to a bare metal system. And when you look at the response times also, it's like, okay, we're good.
And like you already mentioned, these are certified official benchmarks that you can go see on the SAP website where they publish all the benchmarks. To get virtual and native numbers this close is really great. I mean, it's going to be almost indistinguishable. How about if you're not running the systems full out? Do you have any numbers for like lower utilization levels, kind of more typical where customers actually run their systems?
Yeah, we have these, not with BWH because it's a high water benchmark, but there is a load test, which is a so-called mixed workload test. And there we also compared virtual against a bare metal. And we really got it here on a Cooper Lake system. Again, it was an 8-socket system. And we got 91,000 concurrent users running on this, on bare metal, on virtual, on the high load. And as you can see, we also had to go to roughly about 30 to 35% and 60 to 65% utilization. Again, the same system. It is the same system which the BWH was done. And at 35% utilization mark, it's nearly indistinguishable. So you can see throughput is nearly the same. It's under a percentage difference deviation. And then we see in the virtualization layer, we put in the virtual machine, we have then vMotion, we have HA, we have everything in place, what we want to have, and still are at 1% difference, what we have here on the 65% utilization mark of the CPU with 74,000 users. We can have all the benefits and still not losing out on performance on 8-socket systems.
Yeah, and this is where most customers are going to be running almost all of the time, is more in this 35 to 65% range, right? Which I think drives home what most of our customers see is that they don't really perceive a big difference in performance between virtual and native in their day-to-day operations.
But we can go up toe-to-toe with bare metal systems in such a scenario. And as you can see also in the max out, where we really drive the server to its time where it tries to melt, we're still under 10% deviation.
I think that's really great. I mean, still under 10% at this max out level. And the reality is that when you push things all the way, you know, some of the things that we have to do with the virtualization, you know, does take a little bit more processing power. And so, yeah, you can see there's a slight rise in the difference there, up to about 8% or so, which is still not I don't think very significant when you're talking about a maxed out system, especially with such a large configuration, 8 sockets and 12 terabytes.
It should be reliable and flexible, and it should give you the certainty that your business is not going down. I think then 10% is just like,
Yeah, so these are great results. I think it really drives home the power of virtualization, being able to run these really high watermark benchmarks within very close tolerances to what bare metal systems are able to achieve, but then getting all the advantages of virtualization at the same time, like you mentioned a little earlier. It's just a really great solution. Shows how strong our platform is for SAP HANA.
Yeah, and what I think is like it's mainly one or two systems a customer who had these sizes, and when they can run virtualized, the smaller systems are no problem at all. So it's like, there we go.
This is the hard stuff. All the stuff smaller than this is much easier, and so the performance tends to be even better.
It's like, if this is running, the rest will also run. It's like, okay, if you have to do it, you can virtualize these big systems, but the small systems are no problem. I'm finished. I mean, I've got enough numbers and everything, and I still emphasize, please look at the new best practice and architecture guide. It has so much information in it and is brought up to the newest informational heights of the 7.0 update 3 information and everything we have found and optimized and can now share in our 8-socket validations.
Awesome. Well, Sebastian, thanks for joining us and sharing these awesome results, illustrating how great the vSphere platform is for SAP HANA. And thank you to everybody for listening.
Oh yeah, thank you, Todd, for having me here and presenting this, so a broader audience gets also a view on what we are doing. So we are not the people in the cellar who are doing just the nitty-gritties, and everybody's asking, who is this gremlin who's doing this?
Exactly. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you. Bye.